Hi, and welcome back to Craft Along with Jay. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Yetta, and I am so happy you could join me today. Today is part of the Calendar Girls collaboration hosted by Simply Blessed Craft and myself. And the guest host this month is Craft Away with May. And don't forget, when you're done with this video, go down and check out everybody else in the playlist. And also, the theme for today is Fall Harvest. All right, project number one. I'm going to use this page from a calendar from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to show you that's the calendar that I got it from. There's some gorgeous pictures in there. And we're going to cut out the whole page. I was contemplating ripping it, then I was like, no. I have a history when I try to do that I rip too far up and it messes with the picture. So we're going to take the easier way out. It's just cut with a scissor, the safest way. So I'm just going to cut towards the middle and then I'll flip it to the other side and then cut uh, the remaining part of the page out. And then once I've done that, I'm going to get my wood round that I got from Hobby Lobby. It's part of the spring collection. And when I bought this, it was 66% off. So a really good deal. And it's the thick wood, so it's like good quality. And here I'm just figuring out the placement. I want a lot of the bottom part in there too and the pumpkin. Then once I've gotten the placement, then I'm just going to start rubbing it around the edge so I know when I add it back on where to put it. Makes it easier. So I'm not going to cut quite yet. I'm just outlining it and then just so I know where to put it back on to my wood round. So here I'm just going to use my Elmer's glue, cover the whole thing, and then I'll lay my picture down. And here you can see it's easier because I already got the outline where it needs to be. And then I'm just going to press it down really well from the middle and out, especially around the edges. And once I've done that, I'm going to sand it around, get the excess paper off. And then once I've done that, we're going to put it to the side to dry a little bit. And while that's drying, I got these wood letters and I'm going to paint them all with apple apple barrels nutmeg brown. That was hard to say. Then I'm also going to paint around the edge of the wood round with the exact same one. And then I got these little acorns and I want to paint the bottom part with the nutmeg brown and the top I'm going to paint it with truffle. Just kind of darkening it up a bit. And when all that's drying, I'm going to take some jute twine and I'm just going to glue that around the edge of my wood round. I like that look. So if you see my other videos, you'll know that I use this a lot. But I think it gives it a nice, clean, crisp outline and it looks really nice. And then once I've done that, I'm going to take some of this burlap ribbon and I'm just going to make an awareness bow. And then when I got the size that I want, I'm going to take some jute twine and I'm going to tie that right around the middle. And then I'm going to ducktail the tails of my bow. And then I'll just hot glue it where the jute twine kind of connected. And it covers that so you won't be able to see it. And then I'm just going to fluff up my bow a little bit. And then I'm looking for a button that will fit right in there. And that's kind of towards the neutral part, like the rest of my picture here. And I'll just hot glue that right into the middle. And then fluff around with my bow again. And then once I got that looking that way, I went, oh, I forgot to mention I hot glued the word harvest down on the pumpkin. I didn't even show that, but yeah, I hot glued that into place on the pumpkin. And then I'm going to take my little acorns and I'm going to glue those on to the little sticks or branches, leaf thingies on the bottom, just to give it a little bit of a 3D effect. And I think that turned out really, really nice looking. And I just had 4 total that I'm going to glue on down there. And it's going to be close to the other acorns on the calendar page. Just so it looks like a cluster of acorns growing right there. And then we got one more. And I think that's pretty much it for this one. Very easy, but yet I think it's very elegant. Let me know what you think about this one. There we go. That's it. I think it's adorable. Project number 2. I got this wood square from the Dollar Tree, and I also got this piece of wood. I think it's from the Dollar Tree as well. And I want to make a little shelf for my wood square. So I'm just going to line it up with the bottom and then just kind of make a line where I need to cut it with a pencil. And here I'm gonna get out my ruler so I get a straight line. So that way when I do go down to the garage and saw this piece off, it's gonna fit perfectly. And yep, that's why I'm gonna go down there in the garage and get it sawed off. And yep, here we go. And I kind of sanded the edge too. It's a little bit rough once you cut it. So I sanded that and it's perfect size. Then I'm just gonna use my wood glue and just very little at the bottom. I'm kind of going over with my finger so it's not oozing out too much. So some of it is getting wiped off. There we go. And then I'm going to add that to the bottom and just line it up so it's perfectly matched up with the wood square. And then I'm going to let that sit for a few hours. And then I'm going to paint that with a nutmeg brown. And then I got this page. I'm showing you it's from a calendar. And I'm going to glue that to the wood square right there. And I'm just using my Elmer's glue stick again. We're going to add that onto here. And as you can see, so that bottom part is like a little shelf. And that's going to work really well with what we're going to do next. And here I'm just sanding around the edges as well, because it was a little too big, like just a smidget, but I wanted to sand it just to make it look nice. And then I got this raffia, and I'm going to cut that down to smaller pieces so it looks like straw. And I'm just going to cut a bunch out, and then we're going to add that to our little shelf. See, I'm just still cutting. And then I'll add some hot glue, and then I'm going to start adding the straw. And then I'll cut some more, add some hot glue, and add some more straw so we cover that whole little shelf right there. It doesn't have to be perfect, cover the whole thing, but just so it looks like it's on the farm and it gives you that kind of farm look. It's harvest time on the farm. And then I just give it a little trim around the edges. And then I'll use that to glue it back on in some places where I felt like it needed some more. And then I got these little harvest items, some corn on the cob, some pumpkins, some gourds, some acorns. And now we're going to start gluing that down on our little shelf part with the straw. And I'm just going to arrange it the way that makes my eyes happy, I guess you could say. So I'm playing around with it for quite some time. I don't have it all in the video, but I'm spending a lot of time playing around with it. You're just going to see what I'm doing. Otherwise, this will be a very long video. So there we go. I have one standing up as well. Then I'm just kind of playing around with it. I'm going to go up here and get some more things. I have some more pumpkins and gourds and stuff. Just trying to figure it out. Yeah, there we go. So I kind of went in one direction with these, and then I kind of changed my mind and swapped it out right as I was about to glue it on. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. But I like how it turned out at the end. And I was like, I have this other little pumpkin, but I feel like it didn't really go with the color scheme, not even on the calendar page, so I kind of dropped it. But it was a nice size. I really wanted to use it. I could have painted it, but I didn't. I had enough of other things to work with right here. So, yeah, just glue it till till you're happy adding stuff. And then this next piece is the one I'm about to add some glue to, and then I'm changing my mind. It's like, nah, I really want another pumpkin. So that's what I went with. And then we're gonna add some of the acorns in as well, wherever I see fit. And there's a little space for them. But I kind of wanted them out towards the front so you could see them. And we got one more right there in the edge, and that's it for this one. You'll have to let me know what you think of this as well. I love this one. I think it's absolutely beautiful. All right, project number 3. This one is super easy and super quick. Got these 2 frames from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the back part off, the backing, the paper, and the glass. And I do that for both of them. And then I got this picture, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's from this calendar, I think it's called, yeah, Lovely Landscapes. And this vibe right here is just really a farm vibe out in the country. I just love it. And so we're going to focus on the pumpkins and the corn stalk that you see up towards the barn, because that's part of the harvest place. And I'm just using the glass part of the frame to see, so I can see what I want to cut out that's going to fit in the frame. And I'm just tracing around it with a pencil, and then I'll cut it out using my scissor. I think this is so gorgeous. Look at those pictures. So I'm just very carefully following the lines because they are kind of, there's like no space in between, so I gotta make sure it's nice and straight, otherwise it's gonna look crooked in the frame. So we're gonna cut this last one. That's the pumpkins. So I got the 2 pictures that I wanted. And then I'm gonna, yeah, I'm trying to see if it fits perfectly, and it does. And then I'm gonna put it on my backing and see, and then it was just a tiny bit a little over the edge, but then we'll just trim that off with some scissors. And it doesn't interfere with the pumpkins or anything like that. It's just part of the barn. So no biggie. Yeah, making sure it's on the right side that I'm about to cut. And then we'll add that back into the frame. Add the glass first, and then the picture, and then the backing. And I do the same thing for the other frame as well. I have to make sure it's not upside down. I have done that in the past. But there we go, and that's what they look like. Aren't they gorgeous? I love them. Then I decided I wanted to put a little bow on top. I'm going to use this pretty pumpkin ribbon, and I'm just doing a simple bow. Add that to each corner of each frame and a little button, and you'll see that in the final reveal. But here they are. I think that turned out super duper cute. You have to let me know what you think. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video with me, thank you so much. It means the world to me. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I would really appreciate it. And also go down and check out that playlist in my description box and get inspired. Until next time.